Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am making this video on masks because of an incident with a family recently. I am doing some research on the different types of masks and their fit. And so I called up mom in India and said, could you send me a photograph of the type of mask that you're wearing? And I was just shocked to see the photo that was sent to me. My family is known for being obsessively clean, washing all the time, cleaning things. So I was very surprised to see this mask that was actually quite dirty. The edges of the mask were not clean. The white elastic was almost brown. So I was really puzzled. So I talked to mom and said, why is your mask not clean? And she said, "Oh, but we just wear the mask for only like 10 minutes outside when we go out, so we don't think it gets really dirty." So I find out that they're not washing their masks every day. So that was a real eye opener for me. And the more I talked to other family members, the more I realized that really none of my family was washing masks on a regular basis. Not only that, I found that most of them had just one mask. Some had two, but really there was just one mask that was worn every day and then thrown out, kind of on the desk. So at first I thought maybe masks in India are expensive, but my family is pretty middle class, so I'm like, you should be able to afford masks. And my mom said, well, yeah, a good quality mask may cost you 40 to 50 rupees. And I'm like, well, you should be able to afford, 7 masks to last you the whole week. And he said, and she was like, oh, but we don't really need that many masks because they really don't get dirty. So again, I think that there is a real misconception here about what is dirty. It is not about dirty where it is visible to the eye. It is about the mask being contaminated by the virus. So I am trying to explain to her about how every time you wear a mask when you go out in public and you've been about doing your work, when you come home, it doesn't matter whether the mask looks dirty or not. I mean, if it's a white mask, it's going to look more dirty. If it's a black mask, you may not even see it. So just because it's a black mask and you can't see the dirt doesn't mean that you will just wear it for as long as possible, because you will never see the dirt on the black mask. So it doesn't matter what the color of your mask is, whether it is white or black or red or pink. Anytime you go out and you use it, whether it be for 10 minutes, for an hour, or for most of the day, when you come back home, you need to throw it into your wash basket and get it ready for laundry. So my mom's like, well, I'm going to get two because then I can wash one and you keep the other one. And in reality, very few people are doing the wash every day. Most Indian middle class families are not washing their clothes by hand on a daily basis. And so, not only that, if you're wearing your mask all day long and then you come home and you wash the mask at night, then you're drying the mask without any sunlight. And as we know, that sunlight has a lot of disinfecting properties. So it's really important that if you wash your masks, that you hang them out to dry in the sun, out in the sun. So even if you had two masks, it's going to be pretty difficult to be washing on alternate days. So my recommendation is to have 7 masks. Make sure that you take it, get a fresh, clean mask every day, and then throw it in the wash basket, and then wash it during the day and dry it out in the sunlight during the day. And once you have these masks clean, you don't want to throw it, sort of wrapped in a little bundle and throw it with the rest of your laundry, or have it lying around on a table or on your chair. You want to store these clean masks carefully. So my recommendation would be to get these Ziploc or zip top plastic bags, and fold your mask neatly and put it in there and have it ready for use every day. The next thing is that I wanted to talk about was the fit of the mask, because I'm hearing that some people are wearing double layer cotton masks, and but a lot of people, especially people that work for my family, maybe they are maids or gardeners, they're buying these what they call bunion material. I think it's like a thin knit, and uh, and I don't think those are very thick. They're about 10 rupees a piece, and these are what some of these people are using. And we need to make sure that the mask is providing enough protection. So today I'm going to show you a few different types of masks and to also talk to you about the fit of the masks. I have done bought several of them and made some of them, and I'll share some of those with you today. The first mask that I bought was this one, a very nice mask, cotton, double layer mask. And this mask was the first one, and you have to tie it around here. But what I noticed was that I really never liked this mask because it was difficult to tie it on, difficult to tie it off. The strings were long, so I didn't use this very much at all. So the next mask that I purchased, this was with an elastic. So here is the mask with the elastic, and it also has a little hanger, which I like. So you put this on, and you have this, I think I had it wrong here. It goes this other way around. And it is an elastic. But if you notice this, I have a pretty small face. So this mask is very loose on me, you know? And look at the amount of space that's there here. And the elastic is very loose, so I'll have to, maybe put a knot or maybe use a pin. So didn't fit me very well either. So in the end, after trying a few different ones, I ended up making my own mask, and I used the recycled fabric that I had. And this was actually a knit, or what in India is called a banyan material, but I folded it 4 times so that I get good protection. It's very important that the weave not be too loose, or then it's kind of pointless because it might not protect as well. So this one I made out of recycled material. I love recycling because this way then I don't have to throw these old pieces of fabric out. And I make it myself, just had 2 pieces of elastic. I don't have a sewing machine, so I just hand stitched this and knotted it. I actually didn't even stitch anything. I just put a hole in it and knotted it. And this is the one I actually use for most of the time. If you notice here, and then I can just pull this here under my chin, and it fits to the edge of my face. The elastic is nice and firm, fits well. So now this works pretty well most of the time, but here in the Texas heat, and I'm sure in India, in several parts of India, it's getting very warm now. And so this in banyan or knit materials being very close to the face is not that comfortable. So I'm going to share my latest mask with you that I just really love. And so this is the same type of double mask that I looked at, double cloth cotton mask. These are supposed to be some of the best kind that you can have. And I have it with these ear loops and also with this hanger, but it's not elastic. In that way it doesn't pull on my ears, and it's easy for me to get it on and off. So I put it on like this. Notice here it's hanging on my chest. The outside of the mask is hanging on my chest, so it's not close to my chin, taking all the dirt and putting it back onto my nose. So it's on my chest like this. If you can see me, it's like that. And then I take it out, and then when I'm ready to wear it, so in my car, it's hanging like this. When I get out, I put it like this, and then over my nose and my chin, and it's much, much more comfortable for me this way. And then when I don't need it, I remove these, and then I hang it like this. So there's no touching all over the place. I'm not taking my mask out and, shoving it down into my pocket or into my purse with all my chocolates and biscuits and whatnot. Now, if you don't have the ability to put a string like this to hang your mask, then I would recommend that you carry the plastic zip top bag that we talked about, and you can fold your mask neatly in there before putting it into your purse. I think for guys, stuffing this into your pocket is probably not the best thing to do. So I would recommend that you attach a little string to your mask. I also don't think we should be using these disposable masks because they're not very environmentally friendly. Because every time we use one, we have to throw one, and we are, just accumulating that much more garbage. But not only that, it's also unclear what the qualities of these masks are. Now, I'm a doctor, and if I'm in the hospital and I get surgical masks from there, I know what the quality is going to be, that it's going to be good. But on the other hand, if you're just buying some random disposable mask from a shop or from online, then you don't know what the quality of the mask is. So those are the 2 issues with the disposable mask. So for the environment and for your own safety, I do recommend that you make good quality, just for the general public. Of course, we're not talking about doctors and people who are caring for patients with coronavirus. We're talking about general public. The best thing that you can do is to wear a double cotton mask, which is well fitted, and which is can be stored safely and cleanly. And then when you take it off, you know that you take it off with the least amount of contamination with your dirty hands. Um, Now that we've talked about the fit and the storage and the washing of the masks, I want to talk really about why we're wearing these masks and how they protect us. First thing is the masks are not 100% protection. Some people feel that if you're wearing a mask, that means it is, you know, they're totally protected from the coronavirus. They're not going to get the disease at all. No, the masks do provide protection against what's called droplets. So let's talk about the three ways in which coronavirus gets spread in the community. The most common and most important way of transmission is through droplets. That means the virus is in little droplets of water or secretions from our mouth and from our nose mainly. So if we're talking, if we're singing, we are releasing these fine particles of fluid in which these viruses are dispersed. Now, if you're coughing or sneezing or having symptoms like that, then you will actually probably see visible droplets. So when you're wearing a cloth mask, it's these droplets that are being prevented from leaving you and going and landing on somebody else. Or if you are wearing the mask, and it also helps prevent some of those particles from going in. But that is not 100%. Okay. The other thing is if is something called aerosol spread. Now, aerosols are very, very fine particles. A lot of the times you won't be able to see them. They're microscopic particles, and this is just a virus. It's not sitting in a big droplet of water. Now, regular cloth masks do not provide much protection from those at all. But this is not a major mode of transmission, and we can't, you know, that is not under our control. So we can't worry too much about, oh, you know, am I going to be, you know, transmitting or being infected by aerosol particles? We can't do a whole lot about that. So right now, let's focus on droplet protection, making sure we protect ourselves and we protect others by preventing the spread of these droplets. The third way in which the coronavirus spreads, again, it's not as common as direct droplet to droplet spread, is when, let's say, we cough or we sneeze and then these droplets fall onto a table. Then somebody else comes along and touches the table, the droplets get on their hands, and then they touch their nose, and the virus can get into your system that way. So that's why we are emphasizing hand washing, you know, so that, you know, you can't be washing your hands all the time, but try to wash them frequently. Now, I want to make sure also that you wash it with wash your hands with soap and water, and be very careful about using hand sanitizers, because the FDA here in the US has now banned about 75 brands of hand sanitizer. So if you're using a hand sanitizer, make sure that you really know what the quality of the hand sanitizer is and that it doesn't have any dangerous substances in there that you could cause harm to your children from. So masks, when you wear a mask, you shouldn't think of it as it's an armor. So a mask provides protection, but you still need to stay as far away from people as you can. And staying far away from people, I think here we say 6 feet. In India, that would be 2 meters, roughly about that distance. If you can do that, then you reduce the chance of the droplets falling on you, or the droplets falling on somebody else. So what happens that I'm here in the U.S. that I have noticed, and I think that's happening back home back in India as well, is that when people wear the mask, they feel this confidence that somehow they're not going to infect somebody else. So they get very close to people. They kind of come up to you. And also when you have a mask on, you know, sometimes your voice may be muffled. So you've got to be careful about that. You don't, just because you're wearing a mask doesn't mean you need to come up close to people, or, you know, start hugging and cuddling and doing that kind of thing. So if you are going to be in a situation where you cannot maintain that social distance, then you should definitely be wearing a mask. But just because you have a mask doesn't mean that you get up close to people. So especially if you're going to be around a high risk person, let's say you're wearing a mask and you're going to go visit your, you know, elderly grandparents. So that doesn't mean that immediately that the mask is providing you 100% protection. So even if you're going to see Dadi and Dada, you need to wear your mask, and you need to stay 6 feet away from them if at all possible. You know, that is just so important. So in India, it's harder to social distance because you know, there are just so many people. here in the US, it's fairly easy, especially for somebody like me who's in a small town in East Texas. I mean, there's not that many people around. So when I go out for a walk, or, I'm going to be 10, 12 feet away from the next person. I might go into a shop and I might not see anybody in the shop. But I know when I visit India, as soon as I step out of the home, there's lots of people. If you go to the store, there's lots of people. So social distancing is very difficult. But even when it's difficult, try to make a conscious effort to stay far away from people. So if you're in a grocery store and you're walking down the aisles, and if one aisle there are like 2 or 3 people in there, you may all be masked, but why don't you just go to the aisle that has fewer people in it, or maybe has nobody in it? Go check that out first and then come to the other ones. So social distancing, very, very important. Masking is very important, and your masking should be a clean mask, because if you're not wearing clean masks, then you're going to get other types of problems. The mask should be washed well and dried well and stored well. And then lastly, you need to wash your hands as often as possible. Let me see if there's anything else that I need to do. I think that is the end of it. I really hope that this encourages you and motivates you to do some of the things that we talked about today. And if you do have, people that work for you, or other people that you know that are not able to afford the mask, or that the masks might have take money away from other things that they would rather spend on their money on, such as food, or rent, or that kind of thing. See, this would be a wonderful donation to make. If you notice that your housemate is wearing a poorly made mask, or it looks dirty, one of the things that you could do is make a like a gift pack with 7 masks, and hand it to them, and then that of good quality masks, so that they can protect themselves and they can protect others as well. This is a wonderful time for us to be able to show generosity to others, and at the same time improve the health of everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.